Hello everyone, welcome to a behemoth of a lens here. You might be wondering what it is. You might be thinking, what the hell is that? I've never seen one of those before. Well, really it's just a Canon 100-400 II L lens with two extenders on, with a Canon spacer in between. The Canon spacer is the Canon extension tube F4.5-5.6 II, and it gives us a bit of a gap in between, so the protruding element that actually protrudes from the actual extender won't hit the back of the 1.4 because we've got a bit of a gap formed. So that will stop obviously that element hitting the other extender. Now if you try and put it the other way around, the 2x on the lens and the 1.4 on the camera, it won't work. You have to have the 2x on the camera and the 1.4 on the lens. For some bizarre reason we get an error code. The error code is 01, and that basically says please clean contacts, and it refuses to work. Even on the EOS R it doesn't work as well. It reports an aperture of 00, which is a bit weird, but and it won't even press, the shutter won't even press on the EOS R at all. And on the 90D it just refused to work altogether. So we switched it around, having the 2x on the camera and a 1.4 on the lens, and it works okay. So in terms of the EOS R performance, autofocus is relatively pretty snappy actually. It's not going to be super fast, don't get me wrong, and in comparison to other lenses it's going to seem really slow, but at least it works. I suspect in good lighting conditions, unlike my dimly lit living room, it might be even faster. So the EOS R is doing really well. That's where it sort of... So that's where it sort of stops really, because when we put the 90D on, autofocus is non-functional, because any SLR maximum autofocus performance is at f8. It won't go beyond that. So we're going to lose 3 stops of light on the 5.6 lens, which brings us to f16. Now I'm going to be honest with you, it is reporting an aperture of f8 on both cameras, which is incorrect. Autofocus performance on the 90D is, forget it, it's terrible. In live view it does work, but albeit extremely slow. I'll show you an example of that in a minute. But on the EOS R, on the other hand, it works pretty well. I'd say it's probably twice as slow as what it is in photo mode. So it's a lot quicker in photo mode than it is in video mode on the EOS R. You know, with the EF adapter that we've got here. But I was very surprised at the performance of the EOS R's autofocus with this setup. I actually was surprised, blown away. It works at all, really. But I'll go through the millimeters that we're getting. So, obviously, you've got two extenders, 1.4 and 2x, on the EOS R full frame camera, which gives you 1,360 millimeters because you times that by 400, and that's the focal length you get out of the setup. Just one thing to note: if you have it set to 100 millimeters, it won't focus. I'm not sure why, but if you put it to 200 millimeters, its focus is fine. I have noticed that focus is minute, literally a millimeter or even less of moving that focus ring, and your focus can literally go out of focus easily. So it would appear that minute focus is going to be a headache for anyone who's thinking about taking this out. But believe it or not, stabilizer works fine as well, no problem. So at least it's stabilized. Now I'll talk about APS-C, because some people have moaned at me saying I'm not giving the correct information regarding focal length when it comes to APS-C, because all a crop sensitive camera does is magnify, it doesn't increase the focal length. Depends who you talk to, because Sigma would say you get an increasing effective focal length, and that's what I go with. So tough, okay? So as far as I'm concerned, what you've got to do is you times the 1.4 by 2, which is 3.4, times that by the crop, not times it, plus 1.6 crop factor, right? And then you times that by 400 millimeters, and that gives you 2,000 millimeters, which is crazy. So I'll show you a few images that I've taken with this setup, which is basically a picture at 1,360 millimeters with the EOS R of the head of the Cylon model that I've got, and also at 2,000 millimeters on the 90D. Obviously we've had to ramp the ISO up to about 10,000 on the 90D. So if you're thinking about low light situations, you want to be using a full frame camera with this setup. I won't recommend APS-C. And I've always said this, that it's an APS-C sensor is extremely challenging on any full frame lens you put it on, because it's basically full frame lenses are designed for full frame cameras, not APS-C cameras. If you want to get the best out of your APS-C camera, you need an APS-C lens, really, because that's designed for APS-C. So that's just something I just wanted to know. So believe it or not, it's not bad. You know, some people have said it's terrible. I don't think it's that bad. I won't say it's usable out in the field, but for static subjects, or even doing wildlife from a very, very long distance, doing video, because video is low resolution compared to photos. On average, HD video is only about 2 megapixels that you're actually using. Don't quote me on that, because I might be wrong there, but as far as I'm concerned, you don't use a lot of data when you're recording HD video. And obviously a tripod is a must for this setup, I must admit. If you're going to do wildlife from a distance with this sort of magnification, you're going to need a tripod, no doubt. I won't even think about hand holding something like this. So hopefully this video is a bit informative. Let's just jump to the examples of autofocus performance in video mode on the EOS R, as well as live view video mode on the 90D. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. Just to let you know, I've been recording on the Exacti camera, so it won't be too great a quality. Apologise for that, but I've got my other cameras out here, you know, so we've been testing this out. Let me know in the comments what you think about the setup. I think it's a bit hit and miss. To be honest with you, rather than use this setup, I'd rather go out with this, the Sigma 150-600 contemporary lens, because obviously it should perform a bit better. Anyway, well, this video was helpful regarding looking at this behemoth of a lens. You know, stacking the extenders onto the 100-400 II L lens. I'd rather recommend you do this on something like the 500 F4 lens. I think you might be better off with that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope I didn't bore you too much. I'll see you in the next one. Please thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if a video like this helped you out or even interests you in any way, shape or form. And I'll see you later. Bye bye. Okay, this is an EOS R test, full frame camera. So we've set up this behemoth of a lens, the Canon 100-400 II L lens. We've stacked the extenders, the Mark III extenders, 1.4 and the 2X. In between we've got a Canon extension tube EF12-2, and we're just going to see how it performs in terms of autofocus, because believe it or not, we are getting autofocus performance, which I did not expect. It's actually reading it out at f8, which isn't actually true. It's likely to be, I would have thought, f16. So it's certainly, because we're going to be losing 3 stops of light effectively, so there's no way it's going to be reading out at f8. So I suspect it's f16 more than likely. We're getting equivalent focal length of 1,360 millimeters. using the full frame EOS R. But I just want to show you autofocus performance because we are getting some. So we're actually recording in video mode. I have noticed it's slightly quicker in photo mode, if you're wondering. But let's just see how it does doing a minimum focus. Okay, let's just see how that does. It is moving very slowly, as you can see. Okay, that's locked on. Let's go to infinity focus. And there you go. Let's just go to minimum focus again. See how that does. Does tend to take some time. We're about 4 meters away from our subject matter, which is a Cylon model that I've got from the 80s. Infinity focus there. And there you go. That's how it performs. It's not too shabby, really, considering the aperture and the focal length and the fact we're in a dark room in my living room. So as you can see, it's not too bad. Let me know in the comments what you think. But obviously we still need to look at image quality. We will have a look at that. Because I've taken a few pictures and hopefully it'll give you us an idea. But not too shabby at all. Let's see how it does on APS-C. Okay everyone, we've got the 90D on this behemoth setup that we've got, which is the Canon 100-400 II L with the two extenders on there, the 1.4 and a 2X. In between we've got an extension tube, the F4.5-5.6 II. It's not weather sealed obviously. So I've got live view working at the moment. We're in video mode at the moment, and I'm just going to test autofocus so you guys can see. Obviously it's going to be a lot quicker out in the field in terms of using photo autofocus rather than using live view, but I just want to give you a demonstration really. So let's just go to our minimum focus and see how it does. It's moving very slowly, but at least it's working. That's something I didn't expect. It's really jerky, I can see that. Let's try that again at infinity. So it's moving along quite slowly. It still is a bit jerky. I'm not sure if it's something to do with the low light situation, but you know, hopefully we can see how it's doing. Again, we're going from minimum focus again. It does seem to take a long time, but remember it can focus quite close to this 100-400 II L lens, so that's why it obviously takes a bit longer. So infinity, it's struggling a little bit. I don't know what happened there. It sort of went back to infinity and it's moving, and there you go. Well, at least it worked. Didn't expect that. So we're at ISO 10,000, so I've had to ramp the ISO really high compared to what we had on the EOS R, which was only about 1000 ISO. So it does work, but in live view mode obviously it's a lot slower. Just so you know, the effective focal length is 2000mm. Now obviously it's a crop sensor camera and a 90D. So what you need to do is times your 1.4 by your 2x, then times it by the crop factor, which is 1.6x, and then you should arrive at around 2000mm. Obviously we're not extending the lens. Some people have moaned and complained that I'm using the wrong terminology, but as far as I'm concerned, you're magnifying the center of the lens to up to a particular focal length, and that focal length would be around 2000mm, equivalent to full frame. I know some people get wound up over that determination, that example that I give, but there you go. As far as I'm concerned, it extends your focal length to 2000mm. Sigma in their videos would say a corresponding increase in focal length. So that's what I go with. Corresponding increase on focal length is 2000 millimeters. So there you go. So that's how it performs in live view. It's a bit quicker, obviously using the mirror system, but there you go.